Good morning, friends, and welcome to yet another awesome session of Mindful Living. We truly appreciate your taking out the time and joining the session today. Let me begin by asking you a question. How many of you would like to be happier in your life? And in case you would like to be happier, please type H in the chat. Please type H in the chat if you would like to be happier. And if you would like to be more successful in your life, please type S in the chat. And in case you would like to be happier and more successful, please type H and S both. Thank you, Fahad. Waiting for others to respond. Please type H if you would like to be happy. And S if you would like to be happier. Thank you, DM. So friends, if you would like to be happier and more successful, you are at the right place at the right time. As we are doing this session on acceptance, which is a very, very powerful mindfulness practice. The objective of the session today is to help you understand the basics of mindfulness and one of its important component, acceptance, and how this can help us becoming calm, happier, and more successful. Acceptance is a multi-dimensional concept, and what we are going to discuss today is one part of acceptance. And in case you would like to explore more about acceptance, you may visit the earlier sessions that I have done on acceptance by visiting the Mindful Living YouTube channel, the link of which is being shared in the chat. Please subscribe to our YouTube Mindful Living channel and go through the previous sessions on acceptance and mindfulness that have been done by me. Let me ask you another question. Which of these flowers is your favorite one? Please type in the chat, which is your favorite flower? And while we are waiting for you to respond, I'll take a minute to introduce myself for the benefit of those who are going to be watching the video, watching this session over a video. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living community in April 2020 when the first lockdown happened during the COVID times. Few of my friends reached out to me and requested me to conduct a session on mindfulness to help them deal with the stress and anxiety that the lockdown was causing. So over a weekend, I conducted a session, and one thing led to the other. And today we are a vibrant community which connects together every weekend to learn and practice about mindfulness. In case you would like to be a part of this community, please click on the link which we have shared in the chat and will be there in the comments and join the community. Pick up any one. All is a very philosophical answer. Share with me the one flower that you like the most. Tulip, pink rose. All right. So friends, if you like all or you like any, the point is that this world is made up of different things. However, we are dictated more by our preferences and we like one thing or people or emotions over the other. But when we accept thoughts, emotions, and people as they are, that is what true mindfulness is. It is understanding that each one of us is different, and being different does not make us better off or worse off. It is about fully feeling our feelings. But most of the times we don't do that. And I would urge you to take a couple of seconds to imagine if every flower in this world was the same flower, or if every person in this world was like alike, it would become like a robot. The world will become like a robot. But typically what happens is, when somebody is different from us, we tend to run that person down, or we tend to judge that person. Also, take a moment to imagine if you are in a room or in an office or an organization where you are judging everyone, or everyone is judging you, or you are in a family where you are being judged and you are judging everybody. How would you feel? Please type in the chat if you are in a family or in an organization where everybody is judging you and you are judging everybody. What would be the energy levels? How would people be feeling? Please share with us, how would you be feeling if you are in an environment where everybody is judging you and you are judging everybody. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Very demotivating, very toxic it'll be. On the other hand, imagine if we accept ourselves as we are. It is not only about other people, accepting other people. Accepting ourselves as we are is a very powerful motivator. And when we don't accept ourselves, we run down ourselves. And this is not only related to our achievement. I know many people who are very highly accomplished but still feel they are not good enough. Even if you are Miss World or Miss Universe, you may feel you're not good enough. If you are a celebrity actor, you may feel I'm still not good enough, or you're a CEO. So accepting ourselves, and this is a lot to do with the conditioning that we have received during the years of our growing up, and I'll talk more about that as we go along. But accepting ourselves as we are is a big, big, big step towards moving up in life. And similarly, accepting others as they are really creates a very harmonious environment, and a lot of magic starts happening. But it's not so difficult. It's easier said than done. But we find ourselves not accepting ourselves or others because we are conditioned by school. And one of the things that we get conditioned in the school is that marks we obtain in our exams is directly proportional, or determines how successful we are going to be in our life. But as we grow, we all we become wiser, and we realize that it is not academic success which is a cause of success in life, but more emotional intelligence, which we are not taught about in school. Anybody else would like to share about the limiting conditioning that we receive in school, and because of that, our life changed? Please feel free to unmute yourself and speak, or share in the chat. By religion, that this is right, this is wrong, and what one religion says is right, the other says wrong, and the what other says wrong is right for another religion. And that leaves us wondering what is actually right or wrong. Is this the absolute truth, or is this the relative truth? And then we are given narratives by the media. This is right, this is wrong. Oil vehicles are polluting, electric vehicles are good. And then there is another research which comes out which says that electric vehicles are in fact far more damaging to the environment than the real ones are. So we all in living our lives guided by the narrative which is given by the media, without really connecting with what is it that we want. Then there is society which gives us narratives, and there are so many. And all of this makes us difficult to accept people, thoughts, emotions as they are. Another um, conditioning that we receive is men don't cry. And, so it's very difficult for men to express and fully feel their emotions, and so on and so forth. But the challenge with this is when we are trying to blame others, trying to change others to our way of thinking or our way of behaving, then we are trapped in a low energy scale, and that is not so good for us, because then things don't happen in our lives the way we would like them to be. It is only when we start accepting, and you see that acceptance is calibrated at a very high level, which is 350 by Dr. David Hawkins in his wonderful book Power versus Force. So when we start accepting ourselves as we are, and others as they are, start accepting our emotions as they are, then we move up, and our life becomes happier, we become more successful. There are synchronicities that happen in our life, and there is effortless success which happens. So these are some of the challenges and benefits of accepting things and people as they are. And now I'm going to share some tools. One of the questions we received from people while accepting, while registering for the event, as please give us some tools which will help us deal, with the challenges that we have and accept things, people, emotions as they are. And I'll try and share them with you. And I'll also be happy to hear your thoughts and questions. Please keep this interactive, and feel free to raise your hand using the reactions button, and we'll be happy to hear your thoughts. Let's keep it interactive so that we can make the most out of this session. The number one tool that I have found and used a lot in dealing with acceptance is gratitude. And one of the questions that get thrown to me is, how can you be grateful if you have lost someone? And in the last couple of years, we have had many instances where many people lost their near and dear ones. And it is really very difficult to be grateful when you lose someone. And I would like to share with you a true story of someone whom I know, who lost his young son, 30-year-old son. And it is devastating, when you lose your 30-year-old child. But what he shared with me was completely mind-blowing. And he said, this was after a month or two of his son passing away. And he shared with me, I'm grateful that my son passed away in this manner. He drowned and he passed away. This is because one of our relatives, acquaintances came, and they were sharing that their son has been paralytic and has been confined to the bed for last 20 years. All he can do is raise his hand and motion for things he wants, but he can't move out of his bed. So rather than see my son being paralyzed and be on the bed for 20 years with no cure, I rather have my son dead. So he was grateful that his son passed away and didn't have to live this kind of condition. In my own case, I have shared this earlier, that I lost my father at a young age, but recently I met someone who lost his father when he was 9 months old. And suddenly I thought, I'm grateful that I had the company of my father for 24 years compared to this gentleman who had the company of his father only for 9 months. So being grateful, looking at the bright side of whatever is happening, is a very powerful tool to accept things as they are and deal with them. Most of the times, we hardly have any control over what is happening outside of us. So complaining about it, blaming other people for it, cursing it, trying to change it, rather than that, we accept reality as it is. Be grateful for what we have. Be grateful for what is going right, and reframe our thinking and live in a positive state of mind where happiness and success become our birthright. That is one. And once again, I'll urge each one of you to participate, raise your hands, queries, comments, so that we can benefit from each other's wisdom. The second one is a story about accepting our fears. And this is from the life of Swami Vivekananda. When he was young, he was going from one place to another, and he was carrying some food in his hand, and he was passing through a jungle, and the food was smelling good, and it drew the attention of the monkeys, and this group of monkeys started chasing him. And Swami Vivekanand was a boy, Narendra, at that time, and he got scared. You get scared when monkeys start chasing you, so he started running. And the faster he was running, the faster were the monkeys running. And then more and more monkeys started gathering and started running behind him, and he was very fearful. And while he was running, he came across an old wise man who was sitting in the jungle, and the old man saw what was happening, and he asked Narendra to stop. And Narendra said, if I stop, they will attack. He says, believe me, stop. So Narendra stopped in his tracks. Then he said, turn around. And he turned around. And then the monkey stopped. The minute Narendra stopped running, the monkey stopped running, and he turned around to the monkeys, and the monkey started. So now Narendra and monkey are facing each other. And gradually the monkeys start retracing, and then Naren starts chasing them. And now the monkeys are running away, and Swami Vivekananda is running towards them and chasing them up. But there's a very powerful lesson from this story, which is about accepting our fears. Our fears, the monkey in the story are the fears that we have. And, when we all get fearful of one thing or the other, and when we let fear chase us, we get more scared and we try and run away more from it. And the more we run away from our fears, the more they become stronger and chase us. But the trick is in turning around and facing your fears. When we accept the reality as it is and we face it, then we start, when we face it with courage, we get more insights, we get more power to deal with the challenging situations that are there in our life. So gratitude is number one, to accept things as they are. The second, to accept our fears, is face your fears, accept them as they are. You may also call it remaining equanimous in the face of challenges. And the third one is this very powerful serenity prayer, and I simply love it. It's very simple, but very elegant and very powerful, which is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. One of my bosses, while I used to work with HCL, shared this with me. Ashish, pick your battles very wisely. I think what he was trying to share with me is, don't go around changing everything. You choose where you want to focus your energies on. And there are some things which are in our span of control or circle of control. We focus our energy on and realizing that this is what I choose to change. This is what I choose to focus my energy on. And what is beyond my circle, what is beyond my capacity, I accept. And this is wisdom, realizing what I should focus my energy on, accepting what I can't change, and living with that. So I find this serenity prayer very, very powerful. It is from the Alcoholics Anonymous. And this has got application also in dealing with addictions. So many a times we run down, including our own selves, if we have addictions. I used to be a smoker, and it is first thing towards any change is accepting that you have this condition, and then it gives you the courage to deal with it. So I find this very powerful. And the next one is this beautiful story of Akbar and Birbal, where Akbar asked Birbal one day a trick question. Akbar said, Birbal, what is it that if somebody who is happy looks at and he will become sad, and somebody who is sad will become happy? What is that thing? Birbal being Birbal, he said he asked for some time and then he came back and he handed Emperor a ring. And inside the ring was inscribed these beautiful words, which are very simple but very transformative. And they give me a lot of hope when I go through tough times. And what was inscribed inside the ring was, this too shall pass. And this is such an amazing thing about the impermanence of things. When we are going through very good times, not to be overjoyed and be aware that this too shall pass. And when we are going through tough times, not be depressed and realize that this too shall pass. And this is the law of nature. Nothing is permanent, everything changes. Whether it is a bad boss, he is not going to be there, he or she is not going to be there forever. Whether it is day or night, winter or summer, everything changes. And when we go through some tough times, accept them as they are, with the wisdom that this is going to pass. Nothing is permanent. Even when we are dealing with pain, pain is not permanent. It passes. Disease is not permanent. It gets cured. So realizing that this is impermanent is very, very powerful in accepting things as they are and being equanimous about it. It is not what is happening to us that is important. It is how we respond to what is happening to us that is important. And my last one for the day is mindfulness, bringing an awareness that everything changes, everything is impermanent. People come and go, seasons come and go, everything comes and goes. Nothing is permanent in life. Emotions come and go sometimes, and this has got a lot of implication in dealing with emotional regulation. We feel angry or somebody feels angry, and then we immediately term that person as an angry person or as a bad person, but accept the person as he or she is. If even if they have temper, accept them as they are. Or accept, if you have temper, accept yourself as you are and realize that this anger is impermanent. And mindfulness practice helps us do that. Rather than talk about it, we will do a short, about 20 minutes mindfulness practice. But before we dive into mindfulness, I'll be happy to have your comments and questions. Anything so far? Before, yes, Bhavna, please. You want to share your story?
Yeah, I had a child. He was just 2.5 year old, and he got epilepsy. Suddenly, he rolled his eyes, and we found that there was focal epilepsy. Then in the school, he was going for nursery at the age of 3, and they asked him to repeat the nursery. So what happened? We were in joint family, so I overlooked many of his growing, milestones of growing or excel. So some things we could not, judge. So when the teacher said that he has to repeat the nursery, I immediately agreed because the teacher was a better judge than me, because she was observing the child and she found something different in him. And then after that, when he got this fit epilepsy, then I realized and I accepted the fact that now he's a child which I have to face. So actually that acceptance was so natural for me. I don't know, somehow. So luckily I could work on it, and he is now without any epilepsy. He's come out of it. And
Wow.
even the doctors were surprised because they wanted him to go for an operation and all. But
Wow.
somehow God's helped me, and I also helped myself and him. And that's the way acceptance helped me a lot.
What an amazing story, Bhavnaji. Thank you so much for sharing it. And there is so much love that is coming your way. Uh, and yeah, that is so, acceptance has miraculous power. Whatever we resist persists, and whatever we accept gets dissolved and it goes out of our way. So it's very important to remain equanimous and deal with it. I'll be happy to take any questions or comments before we dive into our mindfulness practice. Anything that resonated with you, feel free to share anything that made sense to you. Feel free to ask any questions that you may find challenging about the practice. If not, type BIO. Yes, Jagdeep.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, good afternoon,
Hi.
everyone. And it's pleasure to be part of these meetings. I mean, I always look forward to, participate in them. So,
Thank you.
acceptance, I mean, I just have one question in the sense that there are a lot of people, like, around me, for example, who are criticizing me for everything, kind of, you know. So how do we really, get out of it? And as I also commented, that it's very demotivating. It's really, putting your morale down when we see that, people are just criticizing and just telling you that no, this is not right in you. This is not right in you. So how do we accept these things?
Yeah. Sure, sure enough, Jagdeep. Thank you for asking that. And I'll request anybody to share their thoughts before I respond with my own. See if anybody has got any perspective. All right. So there is something which I'll share with you, Jagdeep, and see if that makes sense for you.
Mm-hmm.
There is a very interesting mental model given by Dr. David Rock, which is called the SCARF model. And this stands for status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. And I'll focus more on status, right, for the purpose of question that you have asked. And in this book, he says that anytime our status gets elevated, we feel it to be a reward. And every time our status we feel threatened, we take it as an existential threat. You know, the human history is about 6 million years old, and we have been on the planet from Mother Earth for about 6 million years, and only last 10,000 years we have settled down in villages, towns, or whatever. But for 5,90,000 years we were living in jungles where our survival was at threat. So it is an existential threat. You know, if it's like an animal coming and attacking us. So whenever status becomes better, it indicates our ability to survive better. And whenever our status is threatened, you know, we feel that I may die. But today we are not living in a jungle, but the mind interprets anything that threatens our status is to be akin to losing our life. Now, when things people say to us are pleasant, you know, it elevates our status and we feel very nice about it. When people say something which is not to our liking, which threatens our status, which is criticism, we feel that it is an existential threat. Realizing that my existence is not getting threatened, being mindful about it, and letting it go is one of the ways to deal with this situation. You know, like in another session I was doing, one person said because of some reorganization in the office, the size of his cabin became smaller. Now, size of the cabin becoming smaller is a reduction in status. and then it becomes existential threat. Now look at it. His size of the cabin has got nothing to do with his ability to perform and contribute, but we take it as an existential threat. And then, we our mind starts playing tricks around us. We think this is not the right thing. So try becoming aware that when people are criticizing you, it may be just your mind saying that this is a threat. It may not be a threat. That is one way. Second is what my teacher shares with me, and I find it very interesting. He says, Ashish, there is a grain of truth in whatever people are saying. It may not be 100% true. It may be 1% true. It may be 0.001% true. But there is a grain of truth in everything which people say. So you may want to introspect, whether there is a grain of truth in what the people are saying, and then decide to do something about it, which is accepting things as they are, and then taking some action about it to change. This is what I would like to share. I don't know if this resonates with you, but this is what comes to me.
No, it's really beneficial. I just want to clarify. You said model, which is it? Scarf model, SCARF.
Scarf, SCARF.
Scarf. Okay.
Status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. I'll type it in the chat.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Thank you. And sorry for another question, which is again related to acceptance and going with the flow.
Yeah,
so it is also that how do we differentiate that this is something which is natural and we should accept, and what is our role into it? uh, you know uh, are you able to understand what I'm saying? Because I'm always confused as to for example, what will determine that yeah, this is naturally coming to me and I'm not inactive or I'm not ignoring it, right? I'm not taking any action for it. I want to get out of that guilt that yes, I did not take action, hence it did not happen like this. So how do we differentiate acceptance from that point of view?
That's a very good question, Jagdeep, and I think that's perfect segue to our meditation now. Because one of the things we're going to do in the meditation is to tune into our body sensations. And when we tune into our body, the answers lie there. I have in an earlier session shared about the University of Iowa study, wherein they did a study and they found that the body gives signals of what is right or wrong much before our mind understands it. So tuning into our body intelligence is a very, very powerful way of figuring out whether this is the right thing for me or not, whether I need to act or not. So tuning into body signals is the short answer to your question. But you may want to visit my earlier session on body intelligence, tuning into body intelligence, in which we have discussed this in far greater detail.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jagdeep. And now I'll invite everybody to, yes, you.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Sue.
Okay. So I think this topic that was chosen is a very important topic in our daily lives.
Yeah.
I think as human beings, we try to live in a permanent world, which is always ever changing. Sorry, I can't start my video. I'm in a zone where there's low internet.
All right.
So I can't even see you. The video is not on for me to see you either.
No worries.
So now I would like to ask you, so as I said, acceptance in a world which is ever changing, and we would like to have it permanent. That's only our goal. We just want to keep it. If it's good, we just want to keep it good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
accepting life the way it is and trusting the flow of life um, is, for some people, is a challenge.
Yeah.
Uh, and I feel, especially here in India, that people from all religions believe in, I'm just putting it as a higher source or the universe. We can call them with different names, and at the same time, you believe in a higher source, and you always, I mean, I heard people saying that not even a single leaf can move if the higher source doesn't want it to.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
go to this extreme, but at the same time, when life happens not according to what we wish, then this goes
Yeah.
into the dump, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And my thing is, uh, to be in the flow of life, to believe or to trust and to have faith. What would you, I have many more questions, but this is the first question. How do I strengthen or instill this faith and
Yeah.
trust in life? Because that will help me to accept.
Yeah. Very, very powerful questions, Sue. And I think you've brought about some very interesting aspects. What you also referred to is our tendency to crave for what we like and have an aversion for what we don't like. And our whole life is guided by running towards what we want and running away from what we don't want. And that wastes so much of energy trying to resist things that we don't like. And much better way to live in a high energy state is to be equanimous, to surrender, to accept, and whatever words that come to our mind, in this context, that's a much better way to live in. How to do it? There are a couple of different models that we shared, Sue, earlier in the story. Swami Vivekanand, gratitude, facing your fears, gratitude, be grateful for everything. And there is one more story I'll share with you, which is very interesting, which may give you a perspective. I don't know if this addresses directly what you're looking at. Before we get into the mindfulness session, and then we will do the mindfulness practice, which itself will help in tuning into our body sensations. So this story is about a poor farmer who lives in a village where they use horses for tilling their land. This farmer is very poor and he doesn't have any horse. So what he does is he borrows money from the local money lender to buy a horse. And this horse, so he buys the horse, starts tilling the land. So the villagers come to the farmer and they say, this is a very good thing that has happened because now you have a horse, you can till your land, grow crops, vegetables, and you will be able to sell and become rich, come out of your poverty. So that's a good thing that has happened. And this farmer was a very wise man, and he said, good thing, bad thing, who knows? And this farmer and this horse runs away. Uh, you know, into the jungle nearby, and the villagers come and tell this poor farmer that this is such a bad thing that has happened. You had taken a loan to buy this horse, and the horse has run away. Now you don't have any source of livelihood. How will you pay back the loan? There's a very bad thing that has happened. And the wise old man says, "Good thing, bad thing, who knows?" And sure enough, the horse which had run into the jungle makes friends with few more horses, and then he returns with 11 of his friends. So now the farmer who didn't have a single horse now has 12 horses, the one he had bought and 11 of his friends. And the villagers are overjoyed and they come and say that this is a very good thing that has happened to you. You didn't have a horse, that now you have 12 horses. You can really till your land very well and you'll become very, very rich. And the wise man says, can you guess what he said? Anybody can type in the chat.
The same thing, things happen. Yes.
Yeah, good thing. Who knows, good thing or bad thing, you know. These horses were wild, and so the farmer's son was trying to train them, riding them, and he fell off and broke his leg. So the villagers come and they tell the old man, you know, wow, this is such a bad thing that has happened. Your young son has broken his leg. Now who's going to marry him? And the wise old man said, good thing, bad thing, who knows? And then after a couple of days, there is the king sends, there is a war on the kingdom, and the king sends his army to enroll able-bodied men into the army. And they come to the village and they enroll all the young able-bodied men and take them away. And the villagers come running and crying to the wise old man, saying that, you know, our sons have all been taken away. We don't know whether they will live or die in the war. We don't know. You are so lucky. Your son is here, and you have your son with you. And the good old man says, "Good thing, bad thing, who knows?" So this is the story, and this reflects, when we look at events in a short frame of time, then something may look good or bad, but in a larger scheme of things, who knows what is good or bad? So rather than jump to conclusions that this is good or this is bad, it is better we accept things as they are and we make peace with us. So does that make sense? Does this help?
Yes, I'm aware, I was aware of this story. Um, my question still is about, instilling the faith and trust. I personally found that in my own life, when I look at my past, and see where I have come from, from the day of my birth until now, there were lots of ups and downs. And I feel that everything had a reason for it to go the way it went. And right now, where I'm staying and I'm connecting with you all, which shows that I have managed everything. So when I look at the past, I get strength, and my faith increases, because I have gone through everything. I've not gone through really deep struggles or anything like that, but I have managed until now. So why can't I use that power, that energy, to go in the future, and still be in the flow? I find our ideas of being in in a home or in a house or in a building where it's enclosed, there's an enclosure here. I find it encloses my mind too. It creates a closure. When you're out in the open, connected with nature, I find the acceptance ready, because do you see any bird crying because it has lost its nest? It's rebuilding one again if it loses one. So there's so much to learn from nature, and nature is ever changing, ever changing. I think, as I said earlier, I think as a human being, we have tried to keep things exactly the way we want them to be. And being in our comfort zone, I think that is the major hamper towards acceptance, because then you just want to be in your comfort zone. So that's why I feel it's important to be a part of, to be in the nature instead of being in cemented houses.
Makes complete sense. So very beautifully put. Acceptance is a lot about resilience also. When we accept things as they are, we are in a high energy state, and we are able to respond better to what is happening rather than be cowed down because it is not the way we would like it to be. And just building on what you shared earlier about facing different difficulties and coming out of them successfully, and that giving you strength. The way I like to think of it is that we are the most vulnerable when we are a kid. We are just born, and the nature takes care of us. When we are the most vulnerable. So why would we be not taken care of when we are far more able than we were when we were just born? And this is not just about human beings. It is about everybody in the nature. Everyone gets taken care of. There are millions and millions of species, and everybody gets taken care of. So I don't know if that helps, but that's what is coming to me.
I don't know if we have time for one small little question that I have before we start the practice.
Yeah,
Or
sure.
I can ask, I can connect with you later if there's no time.
Yeah, so I think there is someone else also who's wanting to ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we will do this practice, which is about 20 to 25 minutes. And in case somebody needs to drop off, you can watch the recording later. Otherwise, you can stay for the 25 minutes, and Sue will be happy to take your question at the end of the mindfulness practice. DM, you have any question or comment? All right. Yes.
No, I think you covered everything. I think so. I resonate with what you said. Yeah, it's just that sometimes it's difficult to accept, even if in the back of the mind you know that like how it should be. But that situation happens that way that you find it difficult, even if you know that in reality nothing is permanent. But still, you feel it a little bit difficult to accept yourself to the reality. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't hear you very clearly, but I think I got the essence of what you were saying. And to those who are struggling with accepting themselves and coming to terms with the power of surrender, which is also, flip side of acceptance, there is a beautiful, beautiful book, The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. I'll type in the chat for you. The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. Those who want to develop faith. Just give me a minute while I'm tapping. In this, he has shared his beautiful life story of how he just kept saying yes to everything that was coming his way in life, and how his life beautifully unfolded. So look up this book, and then we can connect later. You have my number. I'll be sharing my numbers at the end of the session, so you can connect with me. Send me a WhatsApp, or connect with me on social media or on the community groups, wherever. So on that note, on that note, I invite you to join me for this mindfulness practice. You may do this sitting or lying down. If you're sitting, please keep your neck and back in a straight line, straight but not stiff. You may gently close your eyes, chin parallel to the ground, and bring your attention, entire attention, to the area at the entrance of your nostrils. Continue to observe your breath as it is coming in and moving out. Accepting our breath as it is a good way to practice acceptance. Our breath may be coming in from the left nostril or the right nostril, or from both the nostrils. Accept it as it is. Observe your breath without any judgment. Continue to breathe. We are only observing our breath, not trying to regulate it. Your breath may be shallow or long. Observe it as it is. Observe every breath as it is coming in, as it is moving out. Natural breath, normal breath as it is. We can add unnecessary suffering to our experience when we want our reality to be something other than what it is. When we release our resistance and accept what is, we experience peace. Letting go of resistance and accepting ourselves and the present moment as it is an ongoing practice. Continue to breathe. This guided meditation for acceptance is a part of the process to start accepting things, emotions, people as they are. Although we don't have control of the external weather, we can control our own internal weather to experience inner peace. Continue to breathe. Become aware of your breath as it is. Natural breath, normal breath, as it is coming in, as it is moving out. Without the need to change it in any way. As you continue to breathe, become aware of your inner physical experience as it is.
थोड़ा भी
Notice,
फास्ट ठेवला की काय मतलब नाही यांना पण.
notice how you are showing up to this practice, not needing to be somewhere else, doing something different than what you're doing now. Give yourself permission to simply be. Say to yourself, I accept myself as I am. I love and approve of myself exactly as I am. Repeat this couple of times in your mind. I love and approve of myself exactly as I am. Continue. Peace is available when we stop resisting any given moment. Bring your attention to your body and tune in to the sensations that you may be experiencing. Feel the touch of the floor. Feel the touch of the chair you are sitting on. The touch of the air on your skin. See the sensations in your body. Could be a tingling sensation, itching sensation, sensation of a pain or discomfort, or of clothes touching against your skin. Pay attention to the sensations in your body. Accept the sensations as they are without generating any attachment to them. Your body and the sensations are a perfect manifestation of your internal thoughts. Accept your body and the sensations as they are. Continue to breathe. Accepting allows you to fully experience what is happening in the present moment, to fully engage in life. Let these sensations dissolve from your muscles. Let go of the judgment of good or bad. Choose to pause, experience the sensations, and befriend your experiences with compassion. Continue to breathe. Know that without suffering, we cannot know joy. Without darkness, we cannot know light. Allowing life as it is can lessen any struggle and perhaps additional unnecessary suffering. Continue to breathe. Become aware of your thoughts as they are. Notice thoughts arising and passing by. Accept your thoughts as they are. As you continue to breathe, notice your emotions. Experience the physical feelings of your emotions. Where in your body do you experience them? Experience your emotions just as they are. Let go of the idea of what you may think your thoughts and emotions should be. There is no should be. Continue to breathe. We add suffering to our experience when we resist the way things are. You have an opportunity to accept things, emotions, people, yourself as they are and be transformed by acceptance. We have the choice to let the resistance dissolve and accept the way things are naturally. There is a possibility for change only after the reality has been accepted and believed to be true. Peace is available only when we stop resisting any given moment. Continue to breathe. In a short while from now, we'll be coming to the end of this practice. To place your hand on your heart and accept your thoughts, feelings, and people in your life as they are, and honor them as they are. Consider setting an intention that this practice of mindfulness acceptance will help you and everyone you come in contact with. Thank you for practicing mindfulness with me. Whenever you are comfortable, you may open your eyes gently and stay with the feeling for a couple of seconds. And once you're comfortable, you may share your experience either in the chat or by unmuting and speaking. Thank you once again. Happy to hear your experiences. As I shared during the meditation, when I stopped trying to change people in my life, I found that they have started listening to me more. My influence over them increased, and love, happiness, and harmony, and success in any which way that you define started happening in my life. As I mentioned earlier, in case any one of you would like to connect with me over WhatsApp, here is the number. And in case you would like to connect with me for scheduling a complimentary coaching session or for inviting me to speak to in your organization, you may connect with me on these coordinates. In case you have no more questions, we'll bring the session to a close here. Thank you once again for taking out time and joining the session today. Have a nice weekend, and we'll connect next Saturday. The details of the session will be shared in the chat, in the WhatsApp groups. So we'll be happy to take your questions if you have any.